So now we're going to hear from one of our current co-co's, Andre.
Okay, so first question. This year for FCN, we went outside our comfort zone with our storytelling. How will you continue to do that and engage your audience?
I feel like that in our community, and for the past few years, we have focused a lot about our stories about ourselves. And our stories are valid, and I get it, you know? Because we want our voices to be heard, especially with not being a lot of representation in media. But I feel like in San Diego and our community right now, we should move past that and give voice to the people before us, and for people that don't have a voice in general. So I was also thinking about doing another historical FCN if talking to my co-co would be like okay with that too. Because I want everyone learn something this year. And it's learning about rights for film vet rights. So I want to talk about some cultural ideas I was thinking about from our past as Philippine Americans. It's focusing on the Delano Great Strike because even though we talk about it every single meeting, do you really know what's about? Do you know about Leon Philip de la Cruz? What happened there? I also want to talk about the Watsonville riots, where Filipinos were actually discriminated against, and there were signs that said, "No Filipinos allowed." Something that no one really talks about at all. And even if we do something in our own culture, in our own time presence, I would still want to focus on things that really people don't want to talk about, like mental illness, or things that you don't really see in like regular culture nights. So that's my answer. Nice. Okay. Next one.
Second question. How will you integrate various cultural lessons throughout the year?
So what I realized about the 2 semesters is that in one semester, they don't really focus on Philippine History Month, like in October. But then in the other semester, it's all about FCN. So what I wanted to do is to relate those 2 events and put it into the cultural reports throughout the week, so that it leads up to that event or it leads back from that event to show that it's all connected. Okay, next. Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
I have a couple questions from the audience.
Okay.
First question, please explain which areas of Philippine history you are most passionate about, and how would you reflect that amongst our members?
Well, as I said before, I really like focusing on the history as to why we're here. As a lot of, for me personally, I am a military child. I know that a lot of people can relate to that. And that, and I really want to focus on Philippine American history because that was not in our textbooks growing up. And that's still a touchy subject that no one really talks about because no one really knows about it. And so, what I said before, Watsonville riots and just what was that called? There's a Hawaiian sugar rush where there was a lot of Filipinos there and they were definitely not given the benefits and the resources they needed. And as I said before, the Delano Great Strike, because even though we do talk about it a lot, that is really something that I feel is still not talked about enough. And that we don't even celebrate Larry Leon Day, not only in the AB Samahan, but any of the FCC organizations I see. And I really wondered why. Because we talk about him every single meeting and we end with the unity clap. But we don't celebrate any of those days for him or for this great strike in general. And I feel like that's wrong. And we should learn more about ourselves instead of just doing it without any background. Okay, next.
Okay, and the next question. For second semester, usually as it has been seen, FCN tends to take over report-wise. How will you balance working FCN but also emphasizing all other aspects of culture that doesn't just pertain to the content of FCN?
That goes back to my other answer where I wanted to, whatever this culture night is about, I really want to focus those reports kind of relating to that and why it's connected to that. So people are still interested in FCN because FCN is the biggest cultural event that we have. So by relating those other aspects of why this is important in each week, makes you kind of feel hyped up and it's oh, this is what this is about, and this gives more information of why we're doing this culture night in general and why these problems matter.
Thank you.
Oh, man, I'm done.